Hello everybody, welcome to ScottyDGaming. I'm Scotty D, and today I'm bringing you my review of Rage 2. Roll the intro, sunshine. Rage 2 is an open world, first person shooter with an excellent combat system, boring open world, non-existent story, terrible menu design and counterproductive gameplay elements that only serve to hinder and slow down the best part of the game, which is the shooting. The combat feels like Doom 2016, which is a great thing. It's brutal, fast paced and adrenaline filled. All the guns feel beefy and the suit upgrades and powers that you unlock add increased mobility that'll have you zooming around the battlefield, dealing out death like the Flash if you went postal. The beauty of the suit powers are that not only can they be used independently, but they can be chained together like a combo. For example, there are 4 main powers that are used: the double jump, the dash, the palm strike and the air ground pound. You can double jump, then dash in the air to get close to a group of enemies and then use the ground pound before you land so you wreck everything below you. Or you can just dash along the ground, then do a palm strike to close the distance and send an enemy back flipping away. It's so much fun. And then your options in combat are further increased by the weapons and the different fire modes. The shotgun is my favourite and arguably the best weapon in the game. Its non-scoped attack is a regular shotgun blast with massive damage, but its zoomed in attack is a single accurate slug that does massive knockback, so you can send enemies flying off into the distance. You'll find the grav dart gun, which reminded me of the needler from Halo, except it doesn't do direct damage. Instead, it fires needles into the enemy, and when you use the secondary fire, it fires a single gravitational needle that pulls all previously fired needles to its location. The more needles in a target, the stronger the force. You can send enemies into orbit or vaporize them by sending them into a wall. It's hilarious. All of the other weapons you'd expect to find in a first person shooter are here: the railgun, the rocket launcher and the assault rifle. They all feel great with their expected uses and benefits depending on the situation. The only way you can get new powers and weapons are from arc stations, which are scattered across the map. You can locate them by holding the left bumper on foot and looking for a laser beam in the sky. I would recommend you go and get these first before doing anything else so that you can enjoy the combat to its fullest from the very beginning. Unfortunately, the combat is like a diamond that has been thrown into an ocean of shit, which is the rest of the game. The story might as well be non-existent. In the beginning, your town is attacked by General Cross, killing everyone, and you have to get to his fortress to kill him to win. It's as straightforward as that. Nothing changes along the way, no twists, no turns, no greater evil where you find out Cross is just a puppet, nothing. It's just bad. However, the one benefit of having a bad story is that you don't have to pay attention to the terrible dialogue, and it's a good job you don't, because characters often lose their voice audio mid-monologue, leaving you to lip read or guess what they said. Fantastic. There are 7 story missions in total, 2 missions for each of the 3 factions and the final mission. Story levels are linear set pieces that allow you to enjoy the combat to its fullest because they are designed to keep enemies coming at you so you can fully explore all of the powers. I reviewed my gameplay footage and tallied up the time I spent in well designed story levels, and it was less than 3 hours. Now, the icing on the cake is that when you complete the first story mission for each faction, you then have to level that faction up by completing the most dire side quests before the second story mission becomes available. This is one of the many ways the game forces you into playing its boring shit before you can continue having fun. When will developers learn that destroy XX amount of hidden static object is not fun, especially when there's no mission indicator on where these things are? Now, these type of shit side quests aren't a problem when they're optional, but when you have to do them to be able to continue is when it becomes an issue. On this note, when you complete a side quest or base, you are rewarded with the privilege of having to search said location for your rewards. These rewards aren't even something you can get excited about, like a new weapon or armor. It's just either money or upgrade currencies. It's boring to having to search every nook and cranny after a quest just to get rewarded. Automatically credit these to the player upon completion. I mean, they do already stop you with an obnoxious screen after every side quest showing you your faction XP gained and pausing the gameplay. They should just add the rewards to that. Actually, the best reward I could ever get is if they removed the game halting screen altogether. Every decision the developers made in Rage 2 seems like it was designed to disrespect the player's time and kill all momentum. It's almost as if they didn't want you to enjoy the combat. This even carries over to something so small as ammo pickups. You have to manually press to pick up each ammo type. There's no hole to pick up everything like Borderlands, or even better, an auto pickup system like Doom 2016, which id Software also made. They should fucking know better. Between and during battles, you'll have to stop to manually pick up ammo, which can be very fidgety and frustrating. Something as small as this that's overlooked turns out to be a massive problem over the course of the game when you want to get stuck into the action, but you resorted to wandering about aimlessly trying to restock. My favourite thing in the game by far for ultimate frustration are the wooden supply crates. Did anybody even test these? You have to break them open, however, the melee attack will miss them most of the time. Even when you're touching them, you'll end up standing there like a prick trying to punch them multiple times. In the end, I just resorted to shooting them, which kind of defeats the point because you use them to resupply your ammo. Pathetic. I'm only briefly going to touch on the open world because there isn't much you can say about an uninteresting and sparse map. It feels dead, towns are barren, many outposts are copy pasted with minor changes, and there's too much empty space between missions, which isn't helped by the fact that every vehicle is excruciatingly slow. Now, a side note on towns, there's no zoomed in map for towns showing traders or locations. You just have to wander around and hope you find who you're looking for, or have the memory of an elephant. Oh yeah, and there is vehicle combat and races, but you won't bother with them because of the definition of tacked on content. You are forced into a race during the story, and when I played it, it glitched out. I went from first place to second with nobody overtaking me at 1 minute and 2 seconds on lap 1. When I completed the race, it showed the winner having completed the full 2-lap race in 1 minute and 1 second. Maybe he was driving the DeLorean, who knows. Rage 2 has an upgrade system that lets you improve your weapons, powers, inventory, vehicles and projects. That is 5 different laggy menus you have to navigate, all with different currencies you use to upgrade each one. It's a joke. You can tell that this game has lots of different ideas which have been thrown together, and instead of trying to make them as intuitive as possible, they've just left it disjointed. I'm going to try and explain it. You spend Feltrite to upgrade the levels on your weapons and powers, then you have to use weapon cores to buy weapon mods, or nanotrite boosters to buy power augments. You can't level up projects with Feltrite, however. Instead, you have to spend project points buying skills, and once you have bought enough skills, you then unlock the next level. The inventory upgrades, which are for your grenades and medkits, you can't do this within the menu. You have to use money to buy schematics at merchants, and then they are instantly applied. Then there are the dock upgrades, which aren't in the menu either. You need to collect 3 different components and then go to the dock in town to upgrade those. It's all so ridiculously complicated that it's not easy to keep track of what you need, and since you need Feltrite to upgrade levels, you have to do the searching for containers to power up, even if you have the points to spend in the trees. Rage 2 is the benchmark for how not to design a leveling system. I mentioned before that you need to find arcs to get new weapons and powers, and for the most part they are simple and fun. Fight your way to them and fight your way out, which is great because you can test out your new toy. The bad thing is finding them. You use your glove on the left bumper to track their laser beacon, which you can see in the sky. However, this doesn't mark them on the map. After 10 seconds the laser disappears. The problem is you can't track the laser in a vehicle, so you have to stop and get out to see the laser again to make sure you're going in the right direction. Again, the game manages to block you from enjoying its best assets using tedious mechanics. Finally, I'm going to talk about the bosses. I enjoyed the bosses. They're well designed, they're big and have patterns for you to learn. However, there's only 3 different ones. 2 bosses are unique and tied to the story, and the other boss is reused multiple times. It's like they were on strict rations for their creativity. If you made the mistake and bought Rage 2, I'm going to tell you how to extract the maximum enjoyment from it. Look up a map online showing the arc locations and beeline for them using a map marker so you can enjoy the powers and weapons from the very start, and then go and play the story missions. It'll take you 8 hours if you're lucky, but then you can trade the game in for most of your money back, because this game is going to tank in price, so be quick. Rage 2 is not worth your time and money. It's tragic.